Joining me now is Michael Allen, Senior Director of the National Security Council under President George W. Bush, and Colin Clark, Research Director for the Safan Group. So, Michael, you were in Israel about 2 weeks ago.
Yes.
The tensions are just increasing. There was a moment around May 3rd when there was a proposal, and the White House was very positive about it. It was worked out between the intelligence directors, you know all of that. And Netanyahu at the time said, with or without a deal, he was going to go into Rafah, and then he started going into Rafah. And after that, Rafah was closed, Kerem Shalom were closed, aid is not getting in. The fighting has become more intense. So last Friday, the president comes out with this proposal. He says it's an Israeli proposal. The War Cabinet said, yes, they accepted it. And Netanyahu was a member of the War Cabinet, and then he had arguments against it, saying that he would not agree to a ceasefire, a temporary ceasefire, even.
Right.
And suspend hostilities. My reporting last night and today is that Hamas and Israel are both raising objections to the second phase, but not so much the first phase of this complex three-phase. So what hope is there to try to get phase one going, a 6-week ceasefire?
So I think the White House, in the first instance, thought that they ought to do a speech to pressure Netanyahu to put him in a box. But I think their tact changed a little bit. Once they looked at the peace agreement or the proposal that Israel had put forward, I think they thought that Israel had made significant concessions, especially on the ratio between hostages to prisoners, how many prisoners or hostages might be released in the first stage, and they sort of shifted. They said, well, let's try and put this firmly up before Hamas and try and get them to accept it. I think that's where we are now. The ball is in Hamas's court. You're right, Netanyahu seems to draw back from some of it when it might limit his freedom of action to move forward against Hamas in the future. But to me, I think Hamas has a big decision to make, and they're trying to figure it out between those that are in the tunnels and those who are in Qatar, and who's making that decision might be anyone's guess.
And, of course, we have not heard from Sinwar, who is the military wing of Hamas and the mastermind behind October 7th. Colin, weeks and weeks of ceasefire talks have not yielded an agreement. The National Security Advisor, Jake Sullivan, insisted yesterday they're going to keep trying. Here's what he said.
You know, you fail every day at it until finally you succeed. And I believe we will succeed. It's a question of when. But can I tell you when exactly it's going to happen? I can't.
He was echoing there what George Mitchell said when he was negotiating the Irish Accords successfully, eventually. So, Colin, the U.S. and the Prime Minister are both now, saying different things, raising different objections. The two-state solution was never in this deal as it was announced. It was considered a preliminary deal because it was the ceasefire to get the hostages out, to get more aid in. And is there a chance that that can succeed, phase one, and then try to stretch the ceasefire as long as they can?
Well, this is probably the most optimistic that I've been in many weeks. And I think, we're going about this the right way to look at kind of building blocks, or what I would call confidence building measures. At the same time, there's kind of a game within a game that's unfolding here. And you see that with Netanyahu's comments, as well as Biden's comments in Time magazine. Both leaders are trying to thread the needle between, leading on the world stage, but also responding to their domestic political constituencies, particularly Netanyahu attempting to maintain the very fragile right-wing coalition, even as far-right ministers like Ben Gvir and Smotrich threaten the very existence of this coalition. And so there's multiple layers here. I think this is diplomacy at the highest level. And again, I'm more optimistic than I've been in weeks, that the interlocutors are going to be able to get this to phase one at least.
Well, that would certainly be a blessing for the hostage families, and also critically for the aid, because Rafah is not fully open. Kerem Shalom is not open. The crossings, we know that the pier was damaged, and that is sort of minimal. I talked to Jose Andres last night when he was honored and at an event here in Washington, and he is just passionate about the desperate situation for getting food, water, and other supplies in, as is, of course, the United Nations. Michael Allen, Colin Clark, thank you so much.